Chill here with Sirius Taurus Moon, Mercury Hour, Sol Day Mercury, in the 8th house, applying to conjoin Mars and Saturn. Well, Moon applying to conjoin Uranus, and this is, I believe, the last lunation in Taurus with Uranus. And the energy is that, how should I say that? Well, Uranus in Taurus, Uranus releasing us from so many things around human relations and um, and various feminine stereotypes. Um, and so I wonder what will this relaxation from Uranus in Taurus will bring, because um, I know one of my notices was I have been trying to have the best tips about relational skills, what do I want in a relation, and so on and so forth, only to find out that I'm still a child. I'm still, I'm going, I'm heading towards my Uranus opposition. And, um, and then, of course, still have to deal with the fact that, like many, I was targeted as infant. But what's behind this targeting is the death calls that, you know, that are behind the paradigms around healing, that are behind the paradigms around politics, economy, war, maritime law. And it makes sense that with Uranus towards the end of Taurus, about to ingress to Gemini, this experience might not be so unique, because Gemini is, the pre-linguistic stage, is the stage where we begin to um, play around, and is not an erotic phase, in the sense that if somebody sleeps with a child in that phase, they're an Epstein. But we also have to understand that nearly entire humanity slept with children in that phase, and that affected entire humanity, and still does. Um, and and it affects people even when they go, let's say, to heal or to take responsibility over their life and do their shadow works and so on. Now, this is the funny thing. This is the eureka for me with Uranus at the end of Taurus, because Uranus in Venus sign is kind of like relations, the embodied, the everything, and then underneath is kind of like, well, what do we have? Like, how we have all this adult teaching about tantric self, will and consent. It was like, wait a fucking second, we're still children. We're trying to find a compatible romantic or erotic partner, um, or some people even to divorce one, and then it's kind of like, well, pause. It's the wrong script. We're still children, and it's very. This is such a Uranus thing, because it's pretty much like people trying to adult, taking responsibility over their lives, and it's kind of like, okay, yeah, that yeast was because even in self-pleasure people were not ready. Amazing. And then they have all these adult teachings, and they even begin to practice them, and it's kind of like, wait a fucking second, I'm still a child. I'm still a child. That's why it doesn't work. That's why it doesn't work. And that is and even there were even people that saw it were like, well, every relationship is like two inner children meeting each other. Like, we were violated in childhood. We're not ready to have sex yet. And I don't know, so us millennials are kind of like we're in our 40s. Some people are parents. Some people have boyfriends and girlfriends. Some people are the eternal single with a marriage ring so that people will not bug them. um, some people believe that they're gay or they're lesbian or or that the environment taught that. I don't know. And the funny thing about Uranus, because like Uranus in Aries was like the Me Too. And then Uranus in Taurus is like, there is a different sex. There is sex that is actually embodied and is loving. And then we got like, but that doesn't compare. But they're like, we're still children. We're still children. That's why it didn't work. We didn't get that child phase that's non erotic. And that's Gemini. um, we did not get to have a world where children are not violated even in infanthood. And this is why all of our feminine archetypes, however healthy, don't compound. It's kind of like, oh, I need to connect with my femininity. Wait, am I gay? But I'm also a woman. I'm also a woman. I'm like, no, I'm a child. I don't have a gender yet. No, you think about the person that's still in their child phase, trying to connect with their femininity. And it's like, I'll try to do that, I feel that inside. And then I feel dissociated. And then it's like, okay, but what's working for, no, I'm still a child. I need a phase where um and because there was really no place to go to for children, they were hurt in daycare centers, they were hurt in youth centers, they were hurt even when the families were not molesting. They were hurt by the occult practices of the society around them. And it will be the higher up clergy of society. Yes, תרגישי טוב, mama, sorry. That, wait a second. Okay, we have a rebellious cat. Rebellious cat case. Um, yeah. And no matter how much we try to embody the healthiest of teachings without addressing that and its implications, the entire society is doomed. And it's kind of like society being doomed is euthanasia. And so there was also, you know, occult practices that took infants and tried to create things in the infants.